All right. 12 Years a Slave is, what can I say? Everything's been said about it. It's absolutely amazing. Jeremy John said it best himself. It's the Schindler's List of our time. And, I don't know what to say. Definitely, I don't know, it's sort of a toss-up between sort of where does it fit on my favorite film list. I'll get to that later. Anyways, 12 Years a Slave is a historical drama about this man named Solomon Northup. He was a free man living up north. One day he was drugged and kidnapped and sold into slavery. Lost his name, lost his identity, and probably no hope of seeing his family again. So this is literally the story of his life through the 12 years of his slavery until he was freed. Spoilers, but it's called 12 Years a Slave for a reason. Through that, you see the various. He goes through a few owners, well, two owners. One is, his name's Ford, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, who is not very cruel. He's not crazy. Like, yeah, he owns them and buys them, but he doesn't. He's nice to, well, quote unquote, nice to Solomon, to the point where he'll protect him after some bad things happen. But the second owner, played by Michael Fassbender, named Edwin Epps. Oof, this. Okay, first he's rocking the beard. He's really just. I would say he's insane. He's an alcoholic. He's a really bizarre Christian Catholic, we'll say. But he is crazy to an extent. Not like crazy, crazy. Like it's great performance on Fassbender's part. But he sees them nothing as just property, just objects, really. Especially with one of his slaves, a girl named Patsy, who has this, he has this these like strange lustings for. Gets really gets messed up in some bits. But Solomon Northup, or he's also named Platt as well. He's played by an actor named Chiwetel Ejiofor. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This, I don't know. This guy is just such an incredible actor. I mean, this performance in this is nothing short of amazing. I haven't seen Dallas Buyers Club yet, but I don't know. Like he doesn't say much. You just get this. He has this looks in his eyes, in his face that you understand everything, just everything he's going through. Just these 12 years he goes through. He has, you see the look on his face. Jeremy Johns wrote as well. The look on his face when he realizes all hope is lost. There is nothing left. I am not gonna move on. I am not gonna get out of this. I am gonna be stuck here for the rest of my days. I really don't know what else to say. I mean, I don't want to spoil it too much, I guess. I heard this does follow the story of Solomon Northup very well. I don't know. I've sort of looked into it a bit, but I'm gonna look into it a little more. Directed by Steve McQueen. This is his third film. I want to repeat that, third film. And wow. Well, I've seen all his films. Shame and I think the other one was called Hunger. Steve McQueen. Michael Fassbender's been in all three of his films. Why not? He's a good actor. Let's see here. Steve McQueen. Give Steve McQueen a Nobel Prize, not an Oscar. I agree with that. What the? There we go. Wrong one. Let's see here. Feature films. Hunger, that was it. That was also really good. With Michael Fassbender. But this is his magnum opus, we'll call it, I guess. But really, just everything about this film is great. There's nothing. It's really intense to watch. There are some scenes where I wanted to, I wanted just to cover my eyes. I was just like, no, I can't watch this. Ugh. But I watched anyway. So, um, it's really hard to say. This gets a definite 10 out of 10. This is a work of art. This is a very important film to make. And I sat down before I watched this, like a day before I watched this. I sat there wondering to myself. I looked it up too, how many films about American slavery there are, and they're not that many actually. especially about this kind. And I heard that was one of Steve McQueen's. That was one of his reasons to make this film. Uh, but nothing else to really say. It's incredibly well directed, well shot. There's some scenes that very long, continuous shot thing. Sort of think of like Gravity to an extent, and that going to bring up another point. Yeah, there's this incredible long scene. It's one continuous take, and there's just so much happening, and it's really intense. But yes, now it comes to the inevitable thing: is like, where does this fit on my favorite film list? This is sort of it's either tied with Gravity for me or just under. It's I think just under Gravity, just for me. This is just opinion, but it's above Prisoners and Her for me. So sort of in the sort of squished between those two, but it comes very close to being number one. I might watch this again. I mean, I was lucky enough to find the one theater where it was weird. It sort of was playing at the theater one week, then it wasn't. I just never got the time, and then finally I was like, yes, I have time off. I am going to go. Sweet. And that was it. So I'm very glad I saw it. The only real gripe I have about it, now this isn't really so much as like a story or character gripe, but really just sort of one of time, really. In that he's a slave for 12 years, but there's no real indication that 12 years have passed. There's indication that time has passed and stuff has happened, but it never felt like, oh, he's with this guy for 8 years. He's with this person for 4 years. He's doing this for 2 years. It doesn't feel like there's much indication that there's that much time has really passed. The only real sort of indications that, well, time has passed is one in you see him break down. You see him realize, this is it. I'm not going anywhere. And these subtle things like his hair's starting to gray out a bit. He's growing a bit of stubble. But I hope this does well at the Oscars. I mean, it's for absolute sure going to win Best Picture. Uh, Best Actor, I kind of hope so. And oh yeah, Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. As Patsy, sort of one of Solomon's, one of Edwin's slaves, and he has this crazy lusting for. She's great, great. Really intense scene involving a bar of soap. Yeah, I'll let that sink in for a bit. But man, no joke, I was in tears by the end of this. Just the ending, other things. Some big names in it as well. Brad Pitt's in it. He plays a Canadian. Surprised I didn't get actual Canadian. Alright, 2 complaints. But really, this is absolutely fantastic film, an amazing film. Best film of the year. Well, okay. One of the best film of the year, but not my favorite. Yes, Gravity is still my favorite, but this is on a different basis. I mean, it's hard to compare the two, really. Well, I guess you could say both about adversities, but one's about the guy's a slave, the other is a woman trapped in space. Okay, this is getting off topic. Yes, they're both great films. Take what you want. Actually, you know what? Damn it, they're both my favorite films of this year. They're both my favorite films of the year. I think they're both the 2 best films of this year. But that's all I have to say. Just watch it, and you will sniffle and cry and be like, "Oh no!" It's weird. It something about just the intensity of it made me want to watch even more. I guess that's a great direction. Well, Steve McQueen did a good job. Direction, well written, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. Guy's a great act. Guy's amazing performance. Like he doesn't even say much, but just the looks he gives and what little he says, just you get everything. You just understand him. It's great. So, this has been a captain's review of 12 Years a Slave, and whoa, I'm going to remember this for a long time to come, in all my years to come, in my most private moments. But until then, I'll see you later.